Hello, hello. Welcome to the Five Talents Podcast. I'm your host, Abel Pacheco. I interview the top commercial real estate investors and industry experts so you can learn from their experiences. So if you're an investor, a high W-2 earner, or real estate or tech sales professional that wants to invest in real estate without having to manage properties or leave your day job, then this podcast is for you. Or if you're already investing in real estate, but you're doing it part-time and you want to become a full-time multifamily or full-time commercial real estate investor, this podcast is for you too. You're going to learn a ton. You will learn from real-life multifamily investors and other professionals in the industry. They're going to share their blueprints for success, and I'm super excited that you're here. So I hope you enjoy the show. Hello, hello. This is Abel Pacheco, your host for the Five Talents Podcast. We are super excited, as always, because I really take a lot of time, effort, and energy. I don't know if you all knew this, but to get the best possible guests, and one of them is Erin Hudson. And I'm super excited because I've known her for quite some time. She's been in the real estate space. She has an amazing professional background. In addition to what she's doing, big things here in Texas, and we've run across each other in a number of different instances and situations. And I'm just super excited that she would even bless us with her time here on our show. So grab a pen and a piece of paper. I think this is going to be one of those super motivational, inspirational podcast recordings. And it's going to be awesome. Erin, thank you very much for coming. How's it going?
Oh, so good. Abel, thank you so much for having me. Brother, it is such an honor. You are dominating massively in this social market, man. I'm not sure how people can keep up with you. You are a force, my friend.
Well, I am trying to keep up with amazing individuals like yourself. And so that requires me to grind and work really hard. But yes, thank you very much for the note. I appreciate it. So Erin, well, for those that don't know Erin, let me at least give a couple of nuggets in the background. She has an amazing professional background. It's Dr. Erin Hudson, right? And Dr. Erin Hudson, not only has she achieved, massive professional success, but she's also been able to invest personally, invest as really into all different types of asset classes, including multifamily, and an active partner, an active syndicator, capital raiser, and, operator, some really amazing properties. And, I thought it would be amazing, just to hear the story. So Erin, let me, really turn it over to you for a proper introduction. Please tell us, about yourself, who you are, where you came from, and what you're doing today. And we'll just get into a great conversation.
Awesome. Well, welcome. My name is Erin Hudson, as he shared. It is such a pleasure to be here today. And I want to tell you that it is an honor to be here, but what I share with you, I hope that it leaves a lasting impression and you walk away with a massive nugget that you will implement, and it will be a game changer for you. Because I don't really care to talk about myself, but if it's going to help you move forward, climb the rungs of the ladder, game on, right? So I'm a mom of 5 beautiful children, as he said, doctor of chiropractic from Southern California, Huntington Beach area. I had 2 practices and very successful practices, although I did a lot of things wrong, right? So just to share with you, and we'll touch on some of that, because you know what? I find that when you get on these podcasts, everybody is, rainbows and butterflies and all these wonderful things going on in people's life. Listen, through having success, there are failures that come along the way, right? And so believe me, I've had my share of them, but you learn very, very quickly to not make those mistakes again. But going back to my profession, being a doctor of chiropractic, I always wanted to be that entrepreneur. Why? Because I grew up in a home where my parents lived paycheck to paycheck. They worked the 9 to 5. They were busy building somebody else's dream, and it certainly wasn't their own. So I remember at a young age saying, my gosh, I do not want to live that kind of life. Fast forward, went on to be my own boss and had 2 wellness centers in Southern California. But I will be honest, I was that broad that was trying to do the $10 an hour jobs versus really focusing in and doing what I should be doing. I had a doctorate, my goodness, right? It wasn't until I hired a coach, and the coach I wanted to help me to grow my business. She came in and quickly saw that it was disarray, and she dug in to find out what the weak link was. And guess what, my friend? It was me. She saw me doing these, $10 an hour jobs, and she said, hold on a second. We are not going to work together until you go and hire 5 people in your company, because you know what? Your life is out of balance. And that was painful, my friend, because here's why. I was the one that was paying her $1,000 an hour for coaching, and she was firing me. So anyways, I thought I was the one that got to call the shots. It did not turn out that way, for sure.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome that you share. I think you are right in the real estate investing space, which we have a lot of discussion around net worth and wealth creation, wealth preservation. It's we're looking for that financial freedom, that time, availability to travel or do whatever we want. So those things they get highlighted often. We take pictures of those high moments, but we kind of forget about the low ones, especially when we're publicizing things. And then to hear your even your journey as an entrepreneur, as a doctor of a chiropractic doctor, it's like, wow, you still have the same challenges in that business as another business. You're trading your time for the $10 an hour cycle instead of the $10,000 an hour cycle. Being an entrepreneur, one way or the other, you come into some of the same barriers and obstacles. Well, so tell us, how long were you, or are you, have you been a doctor, and how long have you been practicing your own practice, and et cetera, et
Oh
cetera?
my goodness. Yeah. So I started in 2003, and my goodness, I just sold my last practice in March of 2020, right before COVID.
Oh.
A little bit wild, right? So
yeah.
Let me just go back really quick to that
Sure.
that coaching. So when she came in and of course wanted to change up everything for me, and I realized she really put it in my forefront that my life was completely out of balance, right? And reflecting back, yes, it was. It absolutely was, no doubt. I was addicted, and it was addiction to work. I literally slept with work. I ate work. I drank with work, right? It was no wonder the marriage was in a downward spiral. It was no wonder why, I wasn't coming home to tuck my kids in at night or cook dinner around the dinner table. My work became my idol. Come on, y'all. Could anyone relate with me? Am I alone on this front here? So anyways, fast forward.
No.
Thank you. I'm glad I'm not alone. So anyway, she came into my practice, and totally, it was the best day of my whole entire life because of where it propelled me and took me to. Yeah. So hold tight for a second. It was every area of my life she was coaching me, because why? I wanted to have the finest in life. And it was very apparent. I didn't know, because I was in the trenches, right? I couldn't even see up. Like I barely was up out of the ground, right? So anyways, fast forward after coaching with her, my life is completely different. I took my hours back from 60 hours down to 28 hours. I was suffocating, mind you, with loads of business debt. I paid off $847,000 in debt in 2 years, became debt-free in 2014. And really, I learned to put other people in place, hiring more doctors in my practice, right? Which then in turn gave me the true freedom that I was really looking for, right? Of having freedom of time and money at the same time. And went on to just travel the world and take my children to Belize, to Haiti, to Nicaragua, to go love on the orphan and the sick and those that couldn't take care of themselves. And I found out, my friend, that this is what life was all about. It's about having an abundance and freedom to do whatever it is that you wanted. And I knew that where I was in my practice, that it was not duplicatable, but I quickly found out that real estate was. And so I ran with everything in it while I was in practice, after I'd taken my hours down 28 hours.
Yeah. So you started really hitting the investing side around the same time in 2014 or prior?
2015. Yep. So I coached for that year, got all my ducks in a row, put my life back in balance, started to move into that single family space, because I had heard of something called mailbox money, and I had already been through the trenches working so many hours to, you know, bring home the bacon type of thing. And I love the idea of passive income. So I started to look in and dig in more, and I found out that multimillionaires were bred and birthed through owning real estate. And so I became extremely hungry in that direction. And what you'll find out about me is when I want something, come hell or high water, I will figure out how I'm going to get it. Right.
Yeah.
And that is truly the attitude that I want everyone in life to have, because at the end of the day, we were not put here on earth to settle for mediocrity. We are supposed to have an abundant, peaceful, blessed life. Right.
I love it. Absolutely. What I'm fired up. I'm ready to go look, analyze some properties, look at some Excel spreadsheets, go walk a deal and put in an LOI right now. That's awesome. So Erin, you fired me up for sure. Before we go too far into the commercial real estate side, because I definitely want to crack into it, you said a number of things and I can't, just continue interviewing without hitting on these topics, because these are at the core what I think it takes really successful entrepreneurs, regardless of what business you're in. We happen to be talking about real estate, but I think this is going to help a lot of people. So you hired a coach. So let me just pause here. You hired a coach, and most people, or I don't want to say most people, a lot of people I know have never thought of, would never entertain, just, never even said that was an option. And, you did. So tell me about the decision to hire that coach. I'm sure you've had more since then, but, just even that first one, like how did that come about? And, tell me a little bit about it.
It's so difficult to capture because my story is so, it's been quite the journey, right? So to capture all of it is a little bit difficult, but in a nutshell, I got invited to go to an event. And of course, remember I told you I was addicted to work. So I knew it was about business, and it was way more when I got there than business. It was about having every area of your life radically blessed, right? Financially, business, and relationally. And when I went there, truly, I was the chick that sat in the front row with my hands crossed, like, what does this lady have to teach me? Right? Truthfully, that was my ego in the way. And if I'm completely honest with you, halfway through, I was the chick that literally had tears dripping down my face. Why? Because I realized that my life was a complete disaster. I realized that my priorities were so out of whack, as I shared previously, right? And so I hardly knew the chick that was on the stage teaching this, but I knew that she had all that that my inside soul desired. And so I said, you know what? I don't care what it costs. I'm hiring that lady to come in and coach me. And so that's exactly what I did. And you know what? I think everybody needs an editor in life, right? We're all jacked up. We're human, right? We're super flawed as humans, but there is a way for us to hone in and make every area of our life better if we truly, truly, truly desire just that, right? And so I was on a massive mission after that. And again, it was started in around 2014.
Yeah, that's awesome. We all need assistance. Michael Jordan had a coach. All of the top, Wayne Gretzky, think about any of the top Olympians. Everyone has coaches. And it's kind of foolish that we would think, oh, I'm going to achieve this massive personal success, my entrepreneurship success without a coach is pretty foolish, right?
Oh, absolutely.
So I love hearing it because, I started using a coach in 2019, I think, it's been over a year anyways. And I meet with them once a week, and it has had a massive improvement. And even then, that's a personal one-on-one coach, but I hired other coaches, years prior, just kind of coaches and mentors, and it's made all the difference. Really hit the fast forward button. So I love the three bullets. You said financial, business, and relationship success. And that's kind of, what all this stuff kind of boils down to. Right. And I heard a few things that I kind of feel are the higher being, right. Plans to prosper you, not to harm you. And, I just thank God that for me, that he's in my life and kind of steering the ship. But you got out of $847,000 in debt. Holy moly.
I
How
know,
did
right?
you even eat that lion that elephant one bite at a time, I guess?
You know what? You really just, here's the deal. If we don't tell our money where to go, it's
Yeah.
going to tell our money where to go, right? There's just so many things that you can get caught up on, but it's almost like a game. When you decide that you want to get on a mission and get debt free and empower yourself, it becomes self empowerment. It's not to share with anyone else. Look what I did. It's about for your own self to get into that place, right? But
Mm-hmm.
because I followed the laws of the land and the good Lord, he says, "Oh, no man, no debt," right? At that time, you guys, I was not in that space to leverage like I do now and all the wonderful things that you could do with it. Your education level has to be at that place to even go there. At the time, I had paid off my last bit of my school debt. It was $90,000. And I remember battling with it because it was a low interest rate, right? I ended up paying it off.
Yeah.
And honestly, that's when the doors too just flung right open and opportunity presented itself. And I jumped right into that single family space.
Cool. That's so awesome. And the last thing that I'll touch on with at least the very, your startup until 2015 till it got to real estate was you created not just a business, but you created a system, which for those that are Rich Dad, Poor Dad fans, and you kind of know the cash flow quadrant, you hired multiple people to leverage their time, effort, experience, their knowledge. They ended up working for you. So you owned the system. You are no longer the cog in the wheel, so to speak. You were able to lift yourself out. And they, obviously everybody needs those employees and people that are going to fill that role, but they did that. They were happy to. And then you created the system that allowed yourself to free up your time a little bit and go travel, it sounds like.
It's awesome. I mean, look, it wasn't all rainbows and butterflies like that. Yes, I did travel, but when my time got freed up, it allowed me to jump into the single family space. And I did. I got a taste of that mailbox money. And so just like I paid off that debt and I got super honed in and focused, it was about how can I take every dollar and put it to a property? How can I take, and within 2 years, we acquired 26 rental properties. And I'll never forget going to the grocery store, my kids saying, "Oh, can I buy that?" And I said, "Nope, it's not wise. We got to, you got to duplicate that seed money." And they said, "Oh, why? Just so you can go buy another property?" And I was like, hey, wait a second. That's going to get passed down to you. So yes, it is for that. Thank you very much.
That's awesome.
So not only that, it was just about getting on fire for my kids. My daughter turned 16. She bought her first rental property with her Roth IRA. And I just became on this mission to show my kids how to create these cash flowing assets and how they don't have to get in the trenches like I did, 9 to 5, be owned by something per se, but they could actually create a passive income stream if they did it right.
Yeah.
So it was my job to show them, because now I had seen the good news for myself that it's my duty to show my children how to do exactly that and not have to grow up the way I did, living paycheck to paycheck like my parents did, right?
Yeah. And you have 5 children. Congratulations. What a blessed life.
Yeah, they absolutely are.
That's awesome. Hello. You're listening to the 5 Talents Podcast. I'm your host, Abel Pacheco. If you're enjoying this podcast, then I know you're serious about achieving financial freedom. Are you ready to create your own path through multifamily investing for yourself and your family? Then I know you're going to appreciate our Investor's Guide to Multifamily Investing. It's titled Tackling Commercial Real Estate the Easy Way. We use this guide to invest ourselves in $93 million worth of real estate. So we're going to show you the basic mechanics of multifamily syndications and how to evaluate your next passive investment opportunity. So the best part, if you subscribe to our podcast now, leave us a review and a rating. I'm going to give you a free copy of our ebook. So please take a moment to do that now. Once you've done that, go to 5tcre.com/ebook, 5tcre.com/ebook. Make sure to let us know you left a review and we're going to send you a free copy. So thank you so much for subscribing to the 5 Talents Podcast. We really appreciate it. Okay, so let me fast forward to the punchline, and then we'll get back into kind of the punchline. How many total doors in one fashion, form, or another? Or how many millions of dollars, or how many deals? What are you in today? And we'll kind of unpack it a little bit.
Sure. So up to 490 doors, 37 million under management.
Wow.
We currently, yeah.
Yeah. So I have a friend that was like, "What are y'all always talking about? Doors and units. What does that mean?" And I go, "Those are like when I say doors, those are house doors, apartment doors." And she goes, "Oh my goodness, units? That's like how many properties you own?" I go, "Well, one property could have, 50 doors,
Sure.
but yes, there's 490 something doors." And so I'll just drop that for those that are listening. That's exactly what we're talking about. Erin has $37 million, whether she's invested in, a part owner in, maybe a whole owner, JV, a syndication, all of it, it all kind of goes to this bigger pool, and Erin owns, a piece of it all. So it's just really freaking awesome. So you didn't just jump into multifamily apartment complexes, I'm guessing.
No, I absolutely didn't. Really, what happened there is I started to acquire those 26 rental properties. And along the way, my friends, family, doctors that I worked with said, "How in the world are you doing that? Can you help me?"
Yeah.
So, organically, honest to goodness, I do not have my real estate license. I was on a mission to help other people win in life, as I shared. I had
Yep.
already had the system, I had the property management in place, I had all the contractors for my own. So we can either go and wholesale a deal, or we can literally create a turnkey, right?
Mhm,
So we
mhm.
created a turnkey company and help other people acquire rental properties. And over a 3-year time span, we did a little over 230 acquisitions and dispositions
Wow.
just in a warm market.
Holy
And
moly.
here's why. I didn't even have a website, y'all. I'm embarrassed to say I didn't even have a website. But bottom line is this: when you do the right thing for people, by people, word gets out and your business grows. And that is literally why it happened the way that it did. But I will tell you, along that road, I got invited to go to this event to go hear about multifamily. Let me tell you, I thought only the rich could buy apartment buildings. So I'm at this event and I listened to about buying apartment buildings, and I went, "Oh my gosh. I no longer want to land on Vermont, i.e., playing the game of Monopoly with my single family properties. I want to be the chick that lands on Boardwalk."
Yeah.
So I went home, shared with my husband, and I went back to my investors, all of those individuals that had bought in houses from us. And I had said, "Hang tight. There's something even bigger and better. It requires a lot larger and longer learning curve. But when I get there, if you so desire, I'll take you with me." So that's really how it started to unfold and moving in that direction.
That's really cool. I'm excited for you. Uh, what year was that you went to your first, multifamily or,
Sure.
seminar education?
2017. Yep.
That's awesome. That's
Yep.
awesome. And so, what was the big aha moment for you to say, well, I heard number one, you thought you had to be ultra wealthy to kind of buy an apartment complex, but was that the only trigger that said, "Oh, this is what I have to do," or what was the aha moment that said, I have to transition"?
I think it was a conglomerate of a bunch of things, right? Owning single family, there's highs and there's lows, meaning a tenant moves in, they move out, you have to redo the carpet, repaint the walls. It was about the liabilities, right? Like if you could have one roof and 50 doors, there's so many different things. It's the taxes, right? It's building your net worth like this in the multifamily space versus in the single family space. But you want to know what my favorite was? Coming from the single family space, I had to wear all the hats, finding the investors, getting the money, talking to the property managers, getting the tenants, yada, yada, right?
Yeah.
In the multifamily space, it's the most incredible thing. With Quattro Capital, our company, everybody has their own lane per se that they stay in. Everyone has their own strength, or call it their superpower, right? So just imagine, here I was before wearing the hat, 5 different hats, trying to do it all. And now all of a sudden I'm in a space where I just get to walk and own my strength, the
Hmm,
place that
hmm.
I love to be, the place where I can benefit my team, the place where we have a team and there is so much massive strategy. I will tell you, because of this and honing in and staying in my lane, Quattro is absolutely unstoppable, to the tune of, in the last 12 months, closed on 9 properties.
Holy
That's
moly.
because we've got an incredible team and we all have wonderful strengths that are opposite of one another.
I love it. I love it. Well, congratulations and kudos for taking action. You know, you heard something, you observed, you oriented yourself, and then you made a decision and you took action. And most people don't do that last part. Everyone who has eyes can see what's happening. You're driving down, you know, the highway and you see buildings everywhere. And if you can orient yourself to uh, the process of which people buy real estate and make money off of real estate, then you may make a decision that says, I want to go do that. I want to be an investor. I want to be an entrepreneur in real estate and I want to go do it. But the percentage of people that take action is you know, it's so slim. And, you know, that is the some of the most difficult parts. So in that process, what were some of the biggest trials that you've had to overcome in real estate just to actually get there?
Awesome. So listen, again, I think that so many people focus on all their wins in life, right? But
Yeah.
it's through those trials, if we look, there is blessing around the corner, right? And so, for example, let's just talk about something that went really wrong with me. In the single family space, I actually had three individuals that were buying houses and they were all set to close on the same day.
Yeah.
And I was waiting for my wire to come in. It didn't make it the next day. I called the title company who I had already closed previous deals with
Hmm.
and said, hey, what's going on with that wire? It was over $150,000. And they said, oh, it's coming tomorrow. We had a little bit of a hiccup. I woke up the next morning with a gut wrench in my belly. I knew that that money wasn't coming. I don't know what it was, but I knew it wasn't coming. So long story short, it ended up being a fraudulent title company. Who would have thought that you needed to go vet a title company?
Son of a
You
gun. Yeah.
figure that they have errors and omissions and you're fine and so on and so forth.
Yes.
So
Yeah. Typically. That's
yeah,
what
let me
that's what
tell
that's
you.
what I think of in my head is in the single family world anyways, it was I'm going to use the title and usually the seller chooses the title, so I think nothing of it and I go, "Oh, they're the title company. They're here to keep me safe."
Abel,
Anyways,
you just nailed it. I chose the title company for my buyers, right? Which happened
yes.
to be acquaintances, people that I knew. It wasn't somebody cold, right?
Mhm.
So that money never came in. It was the most depressing, scary time of my life. I wanted to go hide in a cupboard and not come out of my kitchen.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, I could have done two things. I could have said, you know what? Look, buyer, I never got your money. These are my three houses. I'm so sorry. Too bad, so sad. And the more I thought about it, the more I thought, do I want to go back to being that broad that was greedy in my practice, wanting more, hiring a coach because I wanted more money? Or am I going to do the right thing for people, by people, and just have and choose to believe that the Lord is going to bless me in another fashion? So, what I did is I literally granted all three of those individuals their houses. I took the hit, I did not get the money. But here's the thing, I rested so well at night knowing that this was their first purchase they had ever had. All
Wow.
this was their first investment property. I wanted them to have a great experience. I wanted them to know that I am a good person that does the right thing. And believe it or not, I walked away with nothing. And I thought, you know what? The good Lord is so good. And I know that it's the law of reaping and sowing. It truly is, right? I'm going to do what I know I should do. And it's a matter of just giving these folks their property. And I did. But guess what? He radically blessed my life, opened up more doors. And what I have now, I would have never thought, like pinch me, I would never thought that I would be in the position that I'm in because I know that he chooses to bless those that do right by him.
Wow. I I'm I'm like tingly all over. That's awesome. You know, just all the way around. I'm kind of a loss for words. How I don't even it doesn't matter how big the hit was. It was three homes and it's a matter of principle to do it. And then like you said, your faith was a little bit bigger than a dollar amount. And in doing so, you know, he says, test me in this and see if I don't, you know,
Yep.
put your storehouse is overflowing and you put it to the test and there you go. So what a great story, Aaron. And I don't know where to go from this. That's a highlight of a show. I mean, really.
Listen, let me tell you, I think it
Awesome,
goes back to, I think I've only shared this with two other individuals, like I think on podcasts maybe, or
and now it's
maybe
just
on
me.
a
Now it's
podcast.
just me, you, and the tree, and
Yes,
every other person. This is a
100%.
great story to share, though. I'm
Well,
super
listen,
excited
I
you
think
did.
it's, I don't share that. Like, do you think that I'm excited to share that? I'm not, but it's about bringing hope to other people because I bet you have a listener or two that's been so burned and they're scared to pull up their bootstraps and pull their pants, call it underwear, whatever you want, back
Yeah.
up and have enough courage to be resilient, to fight the good fight. But you know what? That's Satan. He wants us to be a weak suck and to give up. But truly, truly, that is not what we're destined for. It takes one foot in front of the other because I could have very well said, screw it, and dropped it all and said, is this really what it's all about?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
No, he wants to see us win in every area of our life. And look at not only just for myself, but can you imagine the example for my children? They knew I was going through a hard time, right? But
Hmm.
their mama did not give up because it's about perseverance. It's about being resilient. It's about being courageous. It's about knowing that there is something so much greater on the other side. We
Yeah.
don't see it, but it is there if we believe.
Yeah.
So anyhow, I'm sorry, I get fired
Hey,
up.
all right, it's all good. You're in a safe space in this spot. Our listeners kind of know it, so that's really cool, Aaron. Thank you so much for sharing. I sincerely appreciate it. I knew I was in for a good interview. I just didn't know it was going to be this one, and I'm super excited that it was. So, well, what's next for you? If kind of wrapping up on time and where are you headed next? What's on your agenda and how are you going to get it on?
Well, what's next? I'm excited because of the traction and the massive moves we made with Team Quattro just this last year. Closing on, like I said, 9 deals in the last 12 months.
That's super. I mean, that's massive. The story you shared with me it felt bigger. I'm excited that you did share that with me
Yeah.
and our listeners. But 9 wins is pretty massive. So I'm sorry. Go ahead. I cut you off. I'm excited myself. Go
No,
ahead.
it's all good. I'm excited for what 2021 has in store. We've got a couple things on the horizon, an 80 unit we're getting ready to close on. I will
Boom.
tell you, there is something that really fires me up right now
Hmm.
is my kids. I think I've shared it, made it clear that I really want my kids to win in life. And so we have actually we've got a home on 5 acres in the hill country here in Texas. And we bought a high amenity home back in 2017. And really the reason I always like to look for multiple exit strategies, right? And this thing had 5 acres and I thought, oh, I could parcel it out and give each of my kids a parcel or an acre of land and they can do whatever they want.
Yeah.
But long story short, I really had a desire to put these little tiny homes down there by the pond on our acreage.
I
And
saw your LinkedIn post on
yeah,
it.
yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So we ended up putting that in place and we've got these really cool vibing shipping container homes that each of my 14-year-old and my 16-year-old each have their own and they run their own show on the Airbnb as far as answering. And again, it goes back to who, not how. Do I have the time to be working on these Airbnbs? No, but my kids do. And I'm on a mission to equip them.
Yeah.
Why? Because I want to show them how to build a legacy.
Yeah.
We've got to teach these, it's unfortunate because so many kids are weak sucks these days. They're stuck on the gaming and TV and they've lost the social skills, right? So it's just about really equipping my children to learn how to be entrepreneurial because I want them to win, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And
anyways, fun stuff.
that's so cool. How old are they? The ones that are really getting their hands dirty in the Airbnb?
14 and 16.
I think it's a great time to learn too, because like you said, they're answering the phones. And the sooner they learn, oh, I can probably get somebody else to answer a phone or
Yeah.
somebody else to help me with this. They're also going to learn system. And the sooner they learn system, probably the better they are going to, equip themselves to pull themselves out of the work themselves and build other systems for themselves to kind of recreate and reproduce what you've done. So that's really cool. That's awesome. What in everything that you've done, what would you consider your biggest real estate win?
Oh man, that's such a good question. I'd have to say it was in January 2019 with my partners of Quattro Capital. We actually took down a property together And I had an opportunity to be 25% owner in this 35 unit in Knoxville, Tennessee. And here's the deal. I had to bring $300,000 to the deal in order to have my 25% share. So yes, I had these single families that were all free and clear in Indianapolis. And I thought, okay, well, I guess I'll just cash out and put some into this deal. And I went to bed one night and I woke up with like this, like, honey, wake up. I got to share with you what just came on my heart. And he's like, babe, can we talk about this tomorrow? And so anyways, here's what literally the download I got. It was about OPM, y'all, other people's money. So I went on Facebook and I put this post out that said, how would you like to be the bank, make a great return, and have it backed by real estate? And so within 48 hours, I was able to get my hands on 3 individuals or $300,000 I was able to get my hands on. Basically, I said, I've got this opportunity for you to get 7% interest only on your money. It's a quarterly payout. It'll be a 2-year minimum, 3-year maximum. And I had individuals that were like, count me in. Again, it's not begging for people's money. It's presenting an opportunity. So I did not, for all of you listeners right now that are like, you can't take debt and back it to your real estate, big, large loan that you have on this multifamily. I did not. I got 100,000 and I backed it to one of my free and clear properties, did the same thing for the next property, took that 300,000, injected into this deal without my own money. And in 2 or 3 years, I will be able to pay them back. And here we are. It's all about the arbitrage, right? So the property was yielding 12%. I'm paying my individuals that lent me the money 7%. The spread is 5%. So here I am earning 5% and it's not even my own money.
Yeah, absolutely.
That, my friend, is a win. So it's all about strategizing, structuring, negotiating. And I love that stuff. So if you need help, reach out to me.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, Erin. Thanks for sharing that with us as well. Exactly what you said, other people's money. When I'm in the syndication spot where, for those that have never heard syndication, we're pulling capital together, pulling resources together to go buy something bigger than what we would have been able to buy on our own. So let's say it's a $10 million deal. Well, we hear the word OPM and sometimes our investors think, oh, they mean my money, other people's money. And I go, well, yeah, your money helps as an equity partner, but really the bank being OPM, they're the biggest area of what Erin said is arbitrage, because they're giving us debt at 3%. And if they're giving us debt at 3% and we're making, X percent higher, then we're taking that at they're getting other people's money and giving us 80% of $8 million on a $10 million deal. And we do leverage investors that come in with us, but they get to leverage other people's money too, which is really slick. So everybody's kind of winning on all aspects. The bank likes it because they need to put $8 million to work. They have to, otherwise it's not going to earn anything. And then, we win because we get to an amazing piece of property. Our investors, equity owners, even, your debt partners on those deals, which were unrelated to the 26 unit, but they still are making their return off of a piece of real estate that's free and clear. And you've kind of backed it and secured it with a note. And it everybody wins in those situations. And probably the community that you invested in, you probably did capital improvements, some of the deferred maintenance, probably raised the lifestyle for the people that are living there. And it's just an amazing opportunity. So anyways, Erin, this has been awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. Before we go, what's the best place for people to reach out to you, and who do you actually want to reach out to you?
Awesome. www, the Quattro way, that's 2 T's, QUATTRO way.com. And the best way to reach out to me is probably go there. You can book an appointment right there from our site. And really just anyone that wants a hand up. Again, it's all in this space. It's such a beautiful thing because everyone in this space, for the most part, wants to help other people win, right? So if you need anything, if you're looking for, let's say you got a great deal, we would love to take a look at it. If it's in one of our markets, right? Because we have something called say it again.
What are your markets?
Oh, okay. Well, we like Chattanooga, Knoxville, Tennessee, outskirts of Atlanta, Carolinas. So something that's really different about us and what we really are looking for is we're looking to work with incredible people that are hungry, that have the same values as us. And with that being said, we bring on something called alliance partners. Of course, we're really selective because we're looking for those really hard working people. But what happens is if you find the deal and you bring it over to Quattro Capital and it's vetted out and it works for us, literally we are extremely generous and we give 50% of the acquisition fee back to the deal finder. And then in turn, bring them into the fold and allow them to have a piece of that GP side if they so desire, right? So it's about helping give a hand up to those colleagues that are in our space that are having a hard time and don't necessarily have partners or somebody to work with, right? We want to help the younger ones up and bring them into the fold.
No, that's awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. I really appreciate your time. Is there anything else you wanted to touch on that we just didn't cover? Anything you were hoping I asked and didn't?
No, I think that's it. I think the last thing you had asked, what am I excited about? I'm excited. Like I said, we've got an 80 unit that we're getting ready to close on. And then, I can't forget, we actually have 15 acres under contract just outside Fredericksburg, Texas. And we are building a shipping container home park. And the cool part is we got a winery to the right of us and a winery to the left of us. And I hope you decide to come check us out and come stay with us in due time. We'll go make some
I love it. Some Texas winery time. That's going to be super cool. We'll have to get me and my wife out there and come visit you once you're all done. So
absolutely.
Thank you very much. Well, thank you, Erin. It's been amazing. Again, I'm your host, Abel Pacheco for the 5 Talents podcast. If you heard something that provided you some value today, which I sincerely hope you heard this, if not, you may want to rewind it a couple times because it was an awesome one. Please like, subscribe, rate, review our podcast. That would be awesome. In doing so, you really help us gain some visibility and exposure into the market. We have, 80 to 100 plus reviews. Everything's 5-star at this point. I hope that's a reflection of all the guests that I've been bringing on, like Erin. So we would really appreciate your support there, and hope to see you at our next show. Again, this is Abel Pacheco. Erin, thank you very much. Thank you for listening to this episode of the 5 Talents podcast with your host, myself, Abel Pacheco. Each week, we're going to bring you interviews from industry experts and commercial real estate investors who follow their dreams and achieve massive success. Before you leave, let me ask you a few questions. Did you enjoy this episode? Did you learn something valuable? Was your mind stretched to what's possible and what you can achieve? Do you want other experts just like the one you heard today? If you answered yes to any or all of those questions, then please take a moment to subscribe to the 5 Talents podcast, give us a 5-star rating, and most importantly, leave us a written review. Tell us what you liked, tell us your favorite guest, give us any feedback. I'm excited to learn and improve so you can get a more valuable show. So thank you again for subscribing to the 5 Talents podcast.